You're watching Drakewing Gaming. Enjoy the video. Hello everyone, Nary here from Drakewing Gaming. Somebody me on Twitter, The Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming at you to the Let's Play episode of Lyre. So the last place we left off, well, we just got done with the royal feast, and now we're I forgot the official title. We're a planner of sorts for the king. And we are planning a royal ball, which is probably going to be really awesome. I can't wait to see all the different characters there. But anyway, guys, sit back and enjoy. Let me entertain you for the next 20 minutes, and let's jump right into it. Alright. Alright, alarm chain, you are started. Let's do it. I jostle on the mattress, feeling like I was just jabbed in the sides. I hear a knock at the door and instantly mutter a response in a confused and tired tone. Yes? Luvun, please open the damn door. I muster my strength and rise out of bed, trying not to let all the blood rush to my head. Alright, I'm coming. I straighten out my clothes and quickly fix my hair. The key's laying on the desk where I left it. I pick it up and unlock the door. Lyre stands in the doorway, panting slightly, trying to catch his breath. Lord Kadaj is here. Huh? The ambassador from Driss, he's here. How long has he been here? About half an hour, I think. He was heading to the throne room with Lyre. I passed him in the hall while on my walk, and he asked me to come and get you. How long was I asleep? You were asleep? Yeah. I thought you were supposed to be working. I was working, I can't really think of an excuse, so I cut myself off and sigh in defeat, while he simply smugly smirks at me. You were asleep for about 30 minutes, I'd wager. Tidy up and make yourself look a bit more presentable. I touched my forehead with my hand and realized I was sweating. Okay. That nightmare was incredibly bizarre. I've never really had cryptic nightmares like that before. I've been getting them a lot lately. Actually, they started after I got here. Why can't I go back to having nice dreams, like one where I was flying? I grab a towel from the dresser next to my bed and dunk it into a bowl of cold water. I run it over my face and around my neck, and I straighten out my clothes and fix my hair. How do I look? You look great. Nice. He gets to the door and holds it open for me. Thank you. You're very welcome, my lord. Please don't. I was pleased with how good the cold water from that towel felt on my face. Stepping out into the cold chill of the afternoon makes me regret doing it, though. My face feels like it's going to freeze up and crack like porcelain. Follow me. The throne room is this way. He leads me down a flight of stairs at the end of the hallway. I notice there are a lot of plants growing on the walls the further we go. I can hear leaves crunching underneath my shoes. We're further away from the outdoor hallways and getting closer to the inside of the castle. It's a lot warmer, and I enjoy the feeling of the fire coming from the torches above. Lyre turns a corner, leading me down another hallway with a considerable amount of flowers and leaves adorning the walls. I assume the vitality fire coming from the torches is what's keeping these plants alive. I watch his large poofy tail switch back and forth as he walks ahead of me. He has a funny way of walking where he puts a lot of movement in his arms and shoulders. We arrive at a large archway, and Lyre steps to the side, gesturing for me to walk through. What I see next is the most marvelous room I've ever laid eyes on. It's not much in terms of size, but it feels like something out of a dream. Large, gold-tinted windows line the walls, casting light onto the floor. The entire hall is teeming with life. Patches of grass and plants are bursting out of the foundation, and golden flowers grow off of them like spots of sun. Their petals dance to the ground gracefully and lay in piles on the floor. The main attraction, however, is a peculiar sight at the very end of the hall. The ground has burst through the platform and a grassy patch has taken its place. On top of this, a large tree stump has been carved into a massive throne. Cushions line the seat, and the golden crest of Tigran sits atop the back of the throne. I see Lyre's banners lining the walls, with the Austrian family crest upon them and a large green rug leading up to the throne. Lyre and I begin to walk down the hall, with me taking the lead. Lyre is standing with his arms behind his back at the end of the hall, speaking with who I assume to be Lord Kadaj. Ooh, love his eyes. Even from here, I can tell he is a feline. The pointy ears and tail give it away. I can't name what species he is, though. Looks possibly like a bobcat mixed with an ocelot? It's definitely not a species that I've ever seen, and I'm not very good with that sort of thing anyway. He's about my height, maybe just a bit taller, and he's wearing a sharp green outfit with a smug attitude. His fur pattern is very intricate, and his ears have fluffy tufts coming off the ends. The feature that stands out the most, however, is his eyes. They're large, cat-like eyes, and they shine like emeralds. His tail lightly whips to and fro in a lazy manner. Raynor notices me approaching and turns in my direction. Ah, there he is, our royal financial advisor. I gave him a nod and a smile as I approach. My apologies for being a bit late. I was not very prepared. Lyre forces himself to hold back a laugh. Kadaj speaks up. If anyone should be apologizing for being late, it's me. I'm now close enough that he reaches out a paw. Please, allow me to properly introduce myself. I am Lord Kadaj of Driss. I take his paw and shake firmly. It's very nice to meet you, Lord Kadaj. I'm Lord Luvun of Erin, and this is Lyre Reed, Captain of the Royal Guard. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Lord Luvun and Lyre Reed. King Raynor has mentioned you quite a bit. I look to Raynor, and he looks at the two of us. All good things. It's true. We were just exchanging stories. I was just telling King Raynor the story of why I was delayed. What happened? He breathes in and begins to explain. We were making our way through the canyon pass when we were set upon by bandits. My soldiers fought bravely, but were out of our element and easily cornered. That sounds terrible. The men fought them off, but they stole our carriages and carts, riding off, leaving us stranded. There weren't too many casualties, thankfully. We were stranded in the canyons with no food or water. It took us about a day and a half, but we finally came upon an outpost. I sent a letter to Driss and made sure the outpost would be compensated for the horses, carts, and supplies we borrowed. After that, we made it through the rest of the canyon pass and up to the northern run. He pauses and we let this revelation sink in. Something needs to be done about those bandit groups south of the glade. It's bad enough that they prey on travelers, but now they're directly attacking royal officials. He turns to Kadaj and nods his head. Rest assured, I will do what I can to resolve this issue. My advisor and the war minister is away on a sensitive diplomatic mission, and I estimate she will not return for a couple weeks. Is there anything that I can do to help? If there's anything that I can do to help, please, let me know. Thank you, but I believe that something like this would be conducted best with her here. The king's advisor? I was wondering why I hadn't met them yet. However, I trust that you will be able to handle the task that I have given you with care. Of course, Your Majesty, that's why I'm here. Here it comes. You could just call me Raynor. Bingo. As you wish. A silence falls over the Golden Hall, and before we let it get too awkward, I speak up. An avalanche wiped out half my entourage, and I was wounded for a couple days. Really? Yes. That's a bit blunt. He's right. I should have went about that better. I'm not very good at telling stories. My apologies. I haven't really had the chance to tell anyone yet. How's that? Well, when you're knocked out for 4 days, everyone seems to find out before you do. It takes him a moment, but Kadaj lets out a quick, loud laugh. You're very clever. He gives me a curt nod and a smile. People always tell me I'm too clever for my own good. Don't worry. I think it's a good type of clever. Thanks. I give him a smile and turn to Raynor. So, this is the throne room. Raynor turns in the direction of the throne, biting his lip. Yes, and this is my throne. It's a very handsome chair. Yes, but not as comfortable as one would think. I don't think I've ever heard anyone use the word handsome to describe a chair. Maybe a sexy chair? I don't know. Some say that it's the source of all life in the kingdom. Looks like it. I gesture around the room and out into the hall. Raynor chuckles. Yes, well, they also say that the water from the deep under the ground is what gives this area life. The tree was cut ages ago, and it still continues to thrive. And yet it will never reach its true potential. Oh yes, I was wondering when the brat would come here. Adrius announces his arrival by walking through a door behind the throne. I take it you finished your classes. Of course. Lord Kadaj, this is my son, Prince Adrius. Raynor gestures towards Adrius, and Adrius as he approaches us. Kadaj strides forward and bows in front of Adrius. Prince Adrius, it is an honor to make your acquaintance. Adrius seems pleased with this display. Thank you, my lord. I take it your trip went smoothly. Not as smooth as one would have hoped. I ran into some trouble on the road. I can explain it to you later if you like, but right now I need a hot bath and some rest. He walks up to me and grabs both my hands with his paws. It was a pleasure meeting you, my lords Luvun and Lyre. I can't say I've met many humans. Lyre gives a quick bow of acknowledgement. I can't say I've met many, Oh, he's a caracal, okay. Caracals? Yes, forgive me. My knowledge on different species is a bit rusty. There's nothing to be forgiven. I'm a bit of a rare species. He turns and bows to Raynor and Adrius. It was very nice meeting you, Raynor and Adrius. I'll take my leave. Hopefully my guards haven't trashed my room yet. Adrius looks less than pleased at being referred to without his title. Kadaj then walks down the hall and disappears through the archway, his tail whipping around the corner. Before anything else can happen, Adrius speaks up. Lord Luvun, I'd like to have a word with my father alone, if you don't mind. Raynor looks to his son with an inquisitive look. Of course. Of course. I'll be going now. Goodbye. Take care. I turn and walk down the hall with Lyre following behind me. I can hear Adrius mumbling something to Raynor as I round the corner. Even with the echoing halls, it's hard to make out what he's saying. We make our way to a couple of steps down the corridor before Lyre speaks up. He seems a bit eccentric. I take a seat on one of the benches nearby and rest my head against the back of the wall. I like him. Lyre sits down next to me, lifting his tail so that he doesn't sit on it. I don't know. I don't trust him. He crosses his arms and looks at me. He seems like a man with motives. Of course, he's a royal official. All of them have motives. Have you never watched Game of Thrones or read any high fantasy novels? Is it because he's a cat? No, it's not because he's a cat. That's a bit rude, you know. He has an annoyed look on his face. I was only joking, but I'm sorry. It's fine. I actually enjoy cats. They're good at making conversation. As we talk, I notice two guards walking down the hallway, with their helmets under their shoulders. One is an eagle who looks to be in his late 30s. How do you know an eagle is in his late 30s? And the other is an old, large bear with a beard. Ah, Bjorn grew up. They're wearing the same type of armor as Lyre. When they get close enough, the bear nudges the eagle, looking in Lyle's direction. He whispers something in the eagle's ear, which makes the eagle chuckle. They get closer, so I decide to stare at the wall and pretend I'm lost in thought. I like to avoid drawing attention. Lyre watches them as they pass. Gentlemen. Captain! They both say this in unison, one a bit more begrudgingly than the other. Lyre gives a nod, and they both continue moving down the hallway. I wonder what that was all about. It seemed very forced. As I was saying... He bends over, resting an elbow on his knee, and begins to speak in a more hushed voice. You can't just blindly put your trust into people like him. I know that. I never said I trusted him. I just think he's nice. And what do you mean by that? By what? People like him. It's not like that. I meant ambassadors and diplomats. I give him plenty of time to let those words settle in before talking. Lyre, I'm an ambassador. Yeah, but I mean you're not. You don't... I trust you, though. And somehow, I know you won't make me regret it. I'm taken aback by this, and I can't think of what to say at first. Lyre, thank you for putting your trust in me. I'm just here to help. I won't let you down. He stands up and looks down at me. I know. I get up, too, and carry on with walking down the hallways. Lyre catches up to me and matches his pace with mine. Hey, I want to show you something really cool. What is it? You'll see. Follow me. I want to dispute this at first, but I shrug my shoulders and follow him down the halls. We stroll down a corridor overlooking a courtyard, and up ahead there's an exit that leads outside. Lyre picks up his pace, practically speed walking. He reaches the archway and turns around, standing there waiting for me to catch up. I reach the opening and look outside. Pretty, huh? Ooh, oh goodness. Beautiful scenery. The cold fall wind lightly whips my face, and I'm found staring at a beautiful garden. Smooth, round stones and berry bushes line the dirt path. Each berry is red and shining, almost as big as cherry tomatoes. The entire garden is surrounded by stone walls and large, thick trees. This place feels more natural than most gardens, like a serene sanctuary. Oh, 1 second, guys. Okay, yep, needed some water. Throat was getting a little dry. This place feels more natural than most gardens, like a serene sanctuary. Birds chirp and wind blows through the trees, causing leaves to dance to the ground. Towards the center is a pond with a fruit tree. The fruit tree has round pink fruit growing on it. Some of the fruit has fallen to the ground next to the pond and at the base of the tree. The pond has a strange green glow to it, as if there are lights at the bottom. It's absolutely beautiful. Oh, wow. Welcome to my favorite place in the kingdom. I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite place on the Citadel. It's beautiful out here. And it's also a really nice day. The weather usually fares better this time of day. He's right, the cold isn't that bad with the sunlight basking on my skin. I guess I should enjoy moments like this before the weather becomes too unbearable. Oh, here. We walk over to one of the berry bushes and he plucks one of them. Try one of these. Oh, I take the berry and put it in my mouth. I take a bite out of it and it instantly bursts with flavor in my mouth. It's not necessarily the best taste, but it feels good. The berry was cold, which is good because I like cold fruit. That was pretty good. A smile breaks out on his face as he pops a berry in his mouth. Yeah, they're really good. Raider absolutely loves them. Really? Yeah. Sometimes he'll take walks through the gardens and pick berries to bring up to his room in a basket. They grow really fast, so we always have plenty. Also, all the fruit in the garden is unaffected by winter, so we don't have to worry about them. That is actually really cool. Now that he mentions it, I was wondering why the fruit was still on the trees, especially since it snowed a couple times while I was here. Of course, it wasn't enough snow to be bad. It snows much more up in the mountains. Thinking about the snow in the mountains causes me to think of the avalanche. I try to push it out of my mind, but a horrible feeling begins to overwhelm me. What's wrong? It's nothing, my mind has just been racing lately. I don't know, sometimes I'll catch myself talking to people, but I'm not even paying attention to what I'm saying or what the other person is saying. Does that ever happen to you? Yeah, sometimes. But that's not what's bothering you, is it? How could you tell? I may not be the sharpest knife in the drawer, but I'm good at being able to tell when someone's lying. Is that why you don't like Kadaj? Well, I guess. The problem with him, though, is that I couldn't tell whether he was lying or telling the truth. And in my opinion, that's worse. Now stop changing the subject. What's wrong? I clasp my hands together in front of me and continue to walk down the path at a slow pace. My thoughts have been going dark places recently. I've been trying to push them out, but they keep resurfacing. What are these thoughts about? Well, so much has happened recently. A lot of it happened while I was out, so it feels like it's happening too fast. By the time I had woken up after being knocked out for so long, the survivors had already left for Erin. I don't know who died. Did I know them? Then my mind starts racing with more thoughts of what happened. I've never really been bothered by something like this before. I fiddle with one of the buttons on my vest as we walk. I don't know why, but death has never really bothered me that much. Sometimes I feel like I'm forcing myself to act shocked or sad. Growing up, people close to me or people I knew would die all the time. I guess that I'm just numb to it. Or I was. This time it's different. With each passing day, the guilt gets worse and worse, and I take a moment to catch my breath. I just miss home, I guess. As childish as that sounds, I throw one of the berries to the side of the path in anger. That's not childish. Oh, bless me. Yes, it is. I know he's right, but I just feel so stupid right now. It's completely normal to be homesick. Do you have any family? A wife? Oh boy. No, I'm not married. Really? I figured you would be one of the most desirable bachelors in your kingdom. I try with all my might not to get too flustered by this comment. Yes, well, if only I desired them as much as they desired me. We keep walking for a moment before he finally takes the hint. Oh, I had no idea. I hope you don't mind me saying this, but I would have never guessed. He puts a paw on my shoulder, smiling. Yeah, most people don't. I want to change the subject, but he beats me to it. You might not like to hear this, because it's often the phrase most people use, but they're in a better place now. That was a tragic accident. You shouldn't blame yourself for it. I don't blame myself for it. It just terrifies me thinking about it. Death has always been a pretty confusing subject for me. I mean, I grew up being taught to feel a certain way about something, but then after a while I become numb to those feelings. And then when those feelings really do take over, my entire mind just shuts down. Do you know what I mean? I can kind of understand. He runs his paw through his neck fluff again. Thanks for listening. I'd rather not talk about it anymore. We step off the path and stroll over to the pond underneath the fruit tree. I sit down in the grass and Lyle walks up to the tree. He picks 2 ripe fruits from the branches and walks back over to where I'm sitting. He throws me a fruit, which I catch clumsily. Its skin is a bit rough, is a bit tough, and the hole where the stem is was dripping with a sticky substance. It's gotten all over my right hand, but I ignore it. He takes a seat on the tree stump in front of me with an understanding smile on his face. Raynor can keep his weird chair. This is my throne. He then takes a large bite out of the bottom of the fruit, getting juice all over his mouth in the process. That's cute. Oh, that's adorable. So, yes, you prefer the company of men? That's the thumbnail. That's the thumbnail. Yep. Oh, so that's what you got out of that little chat we just had. I jab at his leg with my foot. Hey, you were the one who said you didn't want to talk about the avalanche anymore. I'm gonna pause it right there. It's a cute thumbnail. Ah, guys, this is so good. I love this game. But guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been another episode of Lyre. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and ring that notification bell to the next video. I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!